Hello everyone, welcome to Madridista Notes. And we just lost to Mallorca in La Liga, and what a disastrous, terrible match and result this has been. We are right now, of course, 5 points behind Barcelona, but Barcelona has a match in hand and they are going to play against Sevilla tonight. Sevilla, the kind of form this season Sevilla has, Sevilla is gonna get spanked by Barcelona later tonight, and then we will be behind Barcelona by 8 points. Um, this is the match day 20. We are already 8 points behind Barcelona. I think we can safely say the kind of form we are showing as a team, we don't have a consistent run of form. We are consistently playing lackluster football. Uh, in the last two matches against Real Sociedad and Valencia, we saw some good football. But today, again, we got back to some really lackluster football. There was no creativity going forward. Today, there was no White. Dani Carvajal didn't show anything. He came back from injury in the last match and he was anonymous throughout the whole match. In the start of the match, he was really, really poor. So he is one of the players I just don't think we should rely on going forward. He is a player who looks like a shell of himself. He gets injured most of the time nowadays. Then he comes back from injury. Then it takes him some time to get back to fitness. And when he is fully fit for the match, he doesn't really show that anything that we expect from a Real Madrid main starting right back. So there are reports that Ancelotti has lots of disagreements with our board, and I can understand why he has disagreements with this board because this board believes and trusts Dani Carvajal and Lucas Vasquez for the right back roles. If they are not totally blind, if they are not totally delusional and arrogant, they wouldn't believe that these two players are good enough for the right back role of Real Madrid. Dani Carvajal is a shadow of himself. I think, he's washed up. To be honest, he's washed up physically and mentally. I feel like he's washed up. He cannot really keep up with the tricky wingers. He doesn't give us regular, consistent, good football. He most of the time nowadays he plays a maximum 4, 5 out of 10 matches. The maximum best football you are gonna get from Dani Carvajal is a 6 out of 10. So he is a total liability in Real Madrid's defense right now. The liability is getting worse and worse. And let's come to the middle of the defense. Nacho, he's a utility guy. You can play him all over across the defense, but when you are playing him as a center back, he is an average center half. To be honest, he is above average, but you can use him as a backup option only. He is not someone I'm going to blame because he is a backup option. It's because we have so many injuries in the team. He is playing regularly. He is a good enough backup option. Rudiger, I would say he was all right. Nothing really glaring mistakes or anything like that. So I wouldn't give. I would say okay. Rudiger did all right. Kamavinga has been one of the more impressive players who didn't really do anything wrong and did some things right at the very least. So he doesn't get any kind of um, blame from me. Chouameni, after coming back from his injury, he has shown that uh, what kind of player he is. He is not someone who is going to be like totally dominate the whole of midfield and anything like that, but he is someone who is serviceable and he is our only number six who is a natural defensive midfielder. After coming back from injury, I have to give him credit. He did good enough. He didn't really make any massive mistakes. It was okay. The standard is really down to hell because I am just saying every single player who hasn't really made any mistakes, I'm just giving them a pass because that's what the problem here is. Valverde was shit. He was total shit. He played. His form since the World Cup has been just abysmal, abysmal. I don't know what happened to him during the World Cup in Qatar, but it looks like he lost something, and he needs to get it back because without him, he's the engine of that midfield. He presses, he runs up and down, he helps out the defense, he helps out the attack. It feels like it used to feel like that we are playing with an extra player whenever Valverde is on the field, but right now that's not the case. And I really, really hope he gets back into form if we are to have any chance of winning the Copa del Rey or the Champions League, because I think La Liga, I think it's done. It's done. I am not going to give any kind of importance to La Liga anymore. Any kind of I'm not going to give my waste my emotion on La Liga anymore. Barcelona has better depth. Barcelona has better form. Barcelona has better forwards. They have Lewandowski, they have Ferran Torres, they have Ansu Fati, they have Ousmane Dembele, they have Rafinha, they have even more players there. So they have so many depth options. And we have Rodrigo, Vinicius, Benzema, and fourth choice Marco Asensio, who is a hit and miss player. Just last in the last video I was talking about, he is not a player who regularly plays well. He is not a consistent player. He sometimes can give you good games, then he can give you really below average shit games. So he can play good for a couple of games, then he will be shit for 3 4 games, then he will be good for a couple of games. These kind of players don't deserve to be a starter at Real Madrid, and he wants the protagonist role in Real Madrid, according to reports, to sign that extension. Just screw, just get off, man. Just get out of Real Madrid. No need to sign this kind of players to extension. Again, he was really abysmal tonight. Nothing much. And without Benzema, you can see this attack feels like it it just looks disoriented. Like there is no unity in this attack. Everyone is doing their own thing. Rodrigo tried. He was all right. I would say average. Nothing that impressive. Vinicius was the only one making those runs, making those threats. He won a penalty from where we should have leveled the game, and from there we could have maybe talked about mm, imposing ourselves more and got the winner. But of course, Asensio, I don't know, he got cold feet when he came back to Mallorca. Remember, he came from this Mallorca team, so he has emotional attachment. So I guess he wanted to give them a 3 points or something. Maybe I don't understand. I think Rodrigo is a better penalty taker. I think he has some trauma from the Brazil penalty shootout. Maybe that's why Ancelotti didn't give him this responsibility. But I think Rodrigo is a better penalty taker. I really don't understand the Marco Asensio. He has been shit throughout the match anyway, so he just continued that trend. So I would say Rodrigo gets 5 out of 10 from me. Vinicius gets a 6 out of 10. Marco Asensio gets a 2 out of 10. Chouameni gets 5 out of 10. Valverde gets a 2 out of 10. Ceballos gets a 5 out of 10. Nothing much really. His rich vein of form. I thought he would be one of the players who would give us something. I know I was looking forward to something really creative from him, but he was below average tonight, like everyone. The whole team looked really a hollow of a team. In attack, I would give Rudiger a 5 out of 10, Nacho a 4 out of 10, Camavinga a 6 out of 10, and Carvajal I would say a 0 out of 10. He is just a useless player for Real Madrid right now. I really don't understand the reasoning behind the confidence of this stupid board to insist on this Carvajal thing, because whenever he's fit, he's going to be our first choice right back, and he is not a player I believe should be a first choice right back right now. He doesn't have the physical attributes. He doesn't have the technical attributes. He cannot keep up, and he is injury prone. So why the hell should you depend on a player like Dani Carvajal when you had agents offering you players like Joao Cancelo. He was there. Real Madrid was offered, but the board said no. As soon as he was offered, Carlo Ancelotti wanted him. The report came out today, even before the match, that Carlo Ancelotti wanted him, but the board said no. Just go ahead and use Vinicius Tobias, use Carvajal, use Vasquez. These are all players I wouldn't really depend on really against world class teams, and even not world class teams. Against a team like Mallorca, Carvajal suffered a lot. He didn't give anything in the offense, in the defense. He was just disastrous and abysmal presence in the back line. I would totally, if we could, we should totally sell Vasquez and Carvajal in the summer window and go for, if you want to give Vinicius Tobias opportunity, then promote him and make him a backup. But on the other hand, you have to buy a first choice right back, or if you want to give Carvajal, you want to keep Carvajal, then sell Vasquez or make him third choice right back if you cannot sell him. But we need to go out and bring a right back in the summer transfer window. We cannot go out like this because we need these fullbacks for our depth, and the white, because right now we don't have a right winger. We don't have a right winger. So how are you going to widen the field? The opposition defense can defend really narrowly because we don't have a right winger who can stretch the field. If you don't have a right winger, you need your fullback to overlap and widen the pitch. So there will be some holes in the defense. There will be some gaps in the defense of the opposition team. If our fullback is Carvajal, who is physically right now nowhere near a player that should be starting for Real Madrid, and he is starting for Real Madrid. So what does that tell us? That tells us that this board, this Real Madrid board right now has no, I don't know, they are not showing any kind of ambition, because if they had the ambition that Real Madrid team, the Real Madrid institution deserves, then they would be signing on that transfer of Joao Cancelo. They would be signing on that transfer of Fran Garcia, and these two weak positions of Real Madrid would be filled. And if they respected Carlo Ancelotti, one of the greatest managers in the world, they would have given him a couple of offensive weapons to use. Carlo Ancelotti has been asking for offensive reinforcements. He asked that in the summer, he asked that in the winter, but the board, Real Madrid board, said no. They told Carlo Ancelotti to just work with whatever he has. The manager who won you a Champions League, the manager who gave you a La Liga, a double, and you don't give him the tools that he needs to succeed. What kind of planning is that? What kind of reward is that? So I just don't understand this. I don't know what this board is not telling us. Like the Bernabeu renovation, is it taking that much money that you cannot invest anything into the team? Are you still waiting for Kylian Mbappe? Are you putting all your money on Jude Bellingham? What are the reasons that you are totally wasting this whole season? Because if we keep going like this, I already gave up on La Liga, because 8 points, Barcelona's form, Barcelona's squad depth, Barcelona's team right now, I don't think they are going to be playing so shit that they are going to lose more points than us. Just remember that we have to get playing so much better that we can keep making a winning run. And in the meantime, Barcelona has to lose points. So I don't think even in the next 19 matches, 18 matches, Barcelona, even if they lose matches, Real Madrid is going to lose too. So I don't see us um, really get the gap down too much to win the league. So I think this league is done. I don't really think we are going to win the league. But I hopefully there is something that we can do in the Champions League, because if you see right now, Manchester City, they are not their best version. Bayern Munich, the same. PSG, the same. The biggest clubs in the world are suffering right now. So this is a chance in the Champions League. If we play our cards right, uh, have an uh, we will have an option to go for the Champions League. I believe in the Champions League, Real Madrid is a different beast. We will see better football from Real Madrid. I don't know, they get some electricity or something inside. They get some kind of motivation. You don't need to motivate players for Champions League knockout nights, really. So I guess it is easier. And Carlo Ancelotti has always been a better cup competition coach, anyways. And in La Liga, he has only won, I think, in 3 seasons. He has coached Real Madrid in the last term when he was managing Real Madrid. He lost both times the league to Barcelona, and this time I think yes, last year it was an anomaly. Barcelona dropped off by a lot, and the league run it was like just a like free hit for us. There was no competition from Atletico Madrid. There was no competition for FC Barcelona. So we had a free run in the league last season. But this season, Barcelona is back. They are in the La Liga at least. In Champions League, they are still shit. So in La Liga, they are giving a run for our money, really. They are really, really consistent in La Liga, and their consistency is showing because in difficult away grounds like the last match against Real Betis, they won. In the difficult away ground against Atletico Madrid, they won. Tonight they are playing Sevilla at home. They're going to win. They were winning against the big teams in La Liga. They are winning against the smaller teams in La Liga. So they're not really dropping points. And I think that in the Europa League, they I don't think Barcelona cares that much about Europa League. They will rotate their teams better in the Europa League, and in the La Liga they will concentrate more, I think. And if we keep giving them this kind of cushion, 8 points, 10 points cushion, then they can even rotate better in La Liga and make an assault in Copa del Rey, La Liga, and Europa League. Hopefully, we can get them knocked out from the Copa del Rey semi-final because I really don't want to lose to Barcelona in the Copa del Rey too. That would be a really, really disastrous season for us. Like getting knocked out by Barcelona in Copa del Rey and getting beaten by Barcelona in La Liga. Then all our eggs will be in the basket of Champions League. We are finished. I don't think that we are finished yet, Ayush, but I think we are on the verge of a collapse, right? Like Ancelotti's second season. But this time, I won't blame Carlo Ancelotti. The last time, Carlo Ancelotti had a lot of blame in the second season of his last campaign. He used Modric too much. He used his 11 players at a stretch too much, and they became so fatigued that we couldn't continue because in the first half of the season, in his first campaign with us, in when he was our manager, it was really good. The first half of the season, we were winning, winning, winning. We were making records, but in the second half, it totally collapsed. But this time, I think the lazy, restless team. I think the players are suffering from the World Cup slump. It's not just Real Madrid, to be honest. Manchester City is suffering right now. Right now, Bayern Munich is suffering too. PSG is suffering too. Most of the big teams right now are suffering, but they have some depth in their squad. Real Madrid doesn't have any depth in our squad other than midfield. In attack, we don't have any depth. We only have four forwards for three positions. That's really disastrous. Like right now, Benzema cannot play, and Benzema is a 34-year-old striker. We cannot expect him to play at the optimal level every 3 days. That's physically not possible from him. Same for Luka Modric. He's 37 years old. We will have to use him to get the best out of him. We will have to use him better. Cruz, he is 33 years old. These players, the protagonists of Real Madrid team, they are not the young players anymore. The younger players, Valverde, after the World Cup, he has dropped off. Camavinga is playing better, Ceballos is playing better, but we don't have enough players that are giving us that maximum quality that we need to win these matches. So we are seeing in some matches we are doing really well. Like against Real Sociedad, we did really well, but in front of the goal, we couldn't score. Vinicius missed some chances. But in the match against Valencia, in the first half, we did same. We couldn't score goals, but in the second half, we got two goals. In this match, we went back to our form just after World Cup when we played against Villarreal, Barcelona. We saw this kind of form. So we haven't really come back. The team, I think Carlo Ancelotti doesn't get enough time to get his tactics in. He's not even getting the players enough um, time to train them because we are playing every 3 days and lots of our players are getting injured. Okay, we don't need more players. We have better squad than last year. Ancelotti. I think Ancelotti is a club, the kind of manager who doesn't disagree with the club when he is in front of the press. He always, I think, he has always been a club man kind of manager. That's why Real Madrid brought him back. He, whenever, whichever club he has managed in his career, always everywhere he had good relationships with the club's hierarchy, the management, the board. He never goes against their wishes. He is a man who is not going to be outburst in, who is not going to say too much in front of the press. He's that kind of manager. But all the reports and leaks we are getting in the press are saying that Carlo Ancelotti in the background was asking the board for forward players. The board said no. He asked for forward players in summer. The board said no. He asked for it in winter. The board said no. When Joao Cancelo from Manchester City was offered to Real Madrid, Carlo Ancelotti wanted him, but the board said no. So if the board keeps telling him no and tells him to use whatever he has, he will use that. But at the end of the day, when we go without winning any big trophies, if it happens, they are going to blame it all on Carlo Ancelotti. They are going to do some press, like always they do. They are going to blame it everything on the manager, what he did wrong, which players didn't get enough chances under him, how he didn't you know use the squad well. They're going to do all kinds of excuses and make it look like that Carlo Ancelotti is the villain. And then they will give us some rumors about Kylian Mbappe. They will give us some rumors about Jude Bellingham. They will give us some rumors about like the Napoli winger Kvaratskhelia, or like a striker like Vlahovic, Osimhen. They will give us lots of rumors when it looks like we are not going to win anything. They always does this, and then they will bring in someone from the Castilla, like maybe they will bring in Raul, or maybe they will bring in Xabi Alonso, because I don't think Zinedine Zidane is going to come under this management anymore. They don't really listen to the desires of the manager. They don't really back the managers. They have their own um, ideas, and they are a little bit too arrogant, like not backing your managers and then totally vetoing every transfer strategy decision uh, from the manager. That's why Zidane used to have a lot of problem with our board, the management, especially Jose Angel Sanchez, Real Madrid CEO. That guy is a businessman, and he is like a sporting director for us. Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world, doesn't have a sporting director. Business people like Jose Angel Sanchez makes the decisions on the sporting levels. They see the spreadsheet, they see which players are getting what kind of wages, and then they make the decision that yeah, we are paying Carvajal, Vasquez this much wages. They are good. We have to use them. They don't want to bring in another player because they know if they want to sell Carvajal, Vasquez, no one is going to buy them. They give them the wages that sometimes they don't deserve. Like we brought in Hazard, and he's going to, I think, just stay in the bench for one more season. So we are a little bit stuck with this squad in some areas. Yeah, transfers are not needed. Of course, transfers are not needed. No transfer is needed. And the transfer they are going for is Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham. There is no other option. Real Madrid has Jude Bellingham in their mind. There is no plan B or C. We don't need any transfers. Fran Garcia, Jude Bellingham, and they are going to bring Brahim Diaz from AC Milan. That's it. I think that would be the transfer strategy for Real Madrid. And I have huge doubts Jude Bellingham is coming to Real Madrid. I think he's going to Liverpool or Manchester City. So get ready, strap in for a window of Brahim Diaz and Fran Garcia. The players are needed at least as a backup. Yeah, I still think we need a first choice right winger and a first choice right back. These two positions are really needed in Real Madrid right now. We don't have a first choice right winger. Marco Asensio is not a right winger. Rodrigo is not a right winger. Brahim Diaz is not a right winger. A club like Real Madrid doesn't have a first choice right winger. Just look at some. There are opportunities in the market. Chiesa from Juventus. Juventus is going through so much trouble. We can bring him in. Or there is the Arsenal kid, Bukayo Saka. He has in the summer 12 months left on his contract. They are trying to renew him. If we can go there and woo him, somehow attract him with our project because he's going to be the first choice right winger. This gives us so much more in our right side. Our right side is dead. Danny Carvajal, Lucas Vasquez, Marco Asensio, Rodrigo on the right side. It's a dead right side. I think these two first choice right winger, first choice right back are of utmost importance. I don't think we need a midfielder right now. If we can extend Modric, Cruz, and Ceballos, we can go one more season without buying a midfielder. But if we go one more season without buying a first choice right winger, it's the same problem. It's a lopsided attack. Everything goes to Vinicius on the left side and Benzema in the middle. In the left side, the right side is totally useless. So I don't understand why they don't see that problem that we don't have a right winger. There are no reports coming out that we are going for a right wing player. I don't really understand that. At this point, to want Vallejo, Mariano, Odriozola, Hazard already thinking about next season. Gavardiol, Kvaratskhelia, hopefully Jude, and retain Brahim Diaz and the striker either Victor Osimhen or Vlahovic. I think Victor Osimhen and Vlahovic are not attainable right now. As long as Benzema is the first choice striker, players like Osimhen and Vlahovic won't come to Real Madrid to sit on the bench. I don't think that would be possible. Brahim Diaz can be brought back, but as a backup right winger. I think we really should get a first choice right winger. Gavardiol, I think as long as we keep Rudiger, Alaba, and um, Militao as the three center halves, and another first choice center back, either Nacho, Vallejo, or Rafa Marin from Real Madrid Castilla. I think we are good to go in the center back role. I think our most pressing importance is a backup left back that is coming, Fran Garcia. It's confirmed. We need to buy a first choice right back. We need to buy a first choice right winger and maybe buy an experienced striker as a bench option for Benzema. That's it. I think if we go for these four signings, I think it would be really good depth for Real Madrid going into next season. Tobias, I am hearing a lot of things about Tobias, but we have to remember Real Madrid Castilla is not playing in the second division. They are playing in the Spanish third division. So Tobias right now is playing in the Spanish third division. We can bring him and taste him a little bit, little by little, but I think we cannot really rely on Vinicius Tobias yet. We can promote him and use him here and there in the more of less important matches to see if he can really keep up with the team, if he can keep up with the league. but we shouldn't put too much responsibility on his shoulder. He is still, I think, 18 years of old, 18 or 19. So yeah, Jude will also reject us like Mbubi. We have lost our pool as a club. I prefer to go for Jamal Musiala. I think Jude Bellingham, the reason he will reject us is his family wants to relocate to England. That's the reports coming out from England is Jude Bellingham's family wants to move back to England. But they are keeping Real Madrid hopeful, Real Madrid's management, because they want to get the best deal possible for Jude Bellingham from Liverpool or Manchester City. So as long as you keep Real Madrid's name linked to the transfer, they can make bidding war. They can get more money and more players for less money. So that's the reason sorry, the connection gave out. I am back. It should be better now. Luca AFC. Thank you, Luca, for tuning in. In what about Saka? Saka, I think he would be a really good option for our right wing, but I don't know if club has any our club has any kind of uh, interest in Bukayo Saka. I don't see any reports on that, so it's just hopeful thinking. That's it. Alejandro Balde of Barca is bowling as LB. Why not try Tobias as right before us only? Ancelotti plays him more in the first team. He will adapt soon. Yeah, to be honest, Balde has been bowling out for Barca and he looks like he's going to be a problem for us for a long, long time. He looks like a really special player. I think, of course, we should give the chance to Vinicius Tobias, players like Sergio Arribas, Nico Paz, Rafa Marin, these kind of players from Real Madrid. Of course, we should give them the opportunities, but I'm saying as backup options, like sometimes bring them on for 15, 20 minutes to get them accumulated with the league and then go on from there. If they show that they are ready for this level, then we go ahead with them. That's it. That's just my opinion on this case. And so that's it for now. I hope that we at least win the Club World Cup because we are going to be playing the Club World Cup semi-final, I think, on Wednesday night. I haven't really checked it yet. So I hope that because Benzema, Militao won't be available, hopefully we win the Club World Cup semi-final, and hopefully we get the Club World Cup. At least we'll have some silverwares if we get kicked out from Copa del Rey Champions League. The way we are playing and the way our players are dropping out of form and getting injured all the time. So we need all the smaller cups that we can get so we don't go trophyless really. Our Castilla players are only for business, not for the club progression and titles. To be honest, the reason for that is the club are really cutthroat. The managers don't really want to gamble on these Castilla players and lose their jobs. That's why they go for the more experienced players, the players they know are going to get them results because it's a results based business, and Real Madrid management, Real Madrid board is really really cutthroat. So if we don't get a single major trophy a season, then that manager has no future. He's gonna get sacked. There is, I don't even remember the last time a manager survived after going not winning a major trophy. I only can remember Jose Mourinho in his first season. He won the Copa del Rey. It's not a major trophy for Real Madrid, but at least he won something. So he's and it was his first season, to be honest, against Pep Guardiola's super team. That's the last time I remember a manager not winning a league or Champions League survived. Every time we go without winning league or Champions League, the manager gets the sack. Or in Zidane's case, he walked away himself. I don't know if the job becomes available if Zinedine Zidane is going to come back. Really don't have any idea. I think he would prefer to go do have some other experiences, maybe Juventus or could be something in France, even though the French national team, the one he was waiting for, is done now. So I think if the push comes to shove, they will just bet on Raul like Perez betted on Zidane in the first time. It might turn out like this. So I hope for Ancelotti's case, he totally goes for the Champions League. I really, really don't see a chance for us to get back and get the points gap and topple over Barcelona in the league. I just don't really see it. The kind of squad depth right now we have, we cannot go for three competitions. So if Carlo Ancelotti really prioritizes the Champions League and prioritizes the Copa del Rey, and we finish the season with Copa del Rey and the Champions League, I think that would be a massive achievement for Carlo Ancelotti. Juan Milatasa was a high scorer for Castilla last season but didn't get a chance in the first team. Instead, we have to see Lord Mariano, and finally he was loaned to somewhere. Yeah, I think Latasa was loaned to Girona or some team, and he's not getting enough chances there too. And our department, whoever chooses these loans for our teams, are the worst of the worst. I see Chelsea players, I see Arsenal players, I see those English teams loaning their players, and their players getting so much opportunities. But whichever player we sent the Brazilian kid to Borussia Dortmund. They totally wasted 2 years of his career. I remember when Mayoral was when Mayoral was shining in Castilla, we sent him on loan to Wolverhampton or whatever that team's name is. Not Wolverhampton, the Wolfsburg from Germany. They totally wasted his season. I remember then there were, yeah, Andre Lunin. We sent him to various teams, and they totally wasted his season. We used him as a second choice striker. So the people who decide these loan deals are some of the worst decision makers, because whichever players we send on loan totally waste their time, and in the end they don't get any development. The better option that we are doing nowadays is selling them with a buyback clause, like we sold Miguel Gutierrez. We have sent Brahim Diaz to AC Milan. They have an incentive because they have a buyout option, so they are using him better. Miguel Gutierrez is doing a lot better um, in Girona. So I think that's the best option for Real Madrid, because loaning doesn't work. The loan system for Real Madrid is total disaster. Every time I see Pedri capable, they feel disgusted and unfun. To be honest, Pedri is not a is not a La Masia signing. Pedri came from Las Palmas, Spanish team Las Palmas. Pedri was offered to Real Madrid too, but Real Madrid's scouts or someone in the management didn't fancy Pedri, and we didn't sign him. Barcelona took that option and they signed him. Just what happened with Asensio. Mallorca offered him. Barcelona had Barcelona wanted to sign Asensio first, but they decided not to go through with it. Then we went in and signed Asensio. At that time, it looked like a master stroke. So, but Gavi and Balde, they are Barca's La Masia products. So, of course, they always give their players opportunities in the first team, and that's a really, really good predicament for them, because the players coming through the academy gives their all every single match, every single minute for the team. But to be honest, you have to see the negative side to it too. Like for the last 2 seasons, Barcelona has been getting kicked out from the Champions League group stages. If it happened to Real Madrid, our fans would riot. Our fans would start fires outside the Bernabeu. The coach would get sacked. Barcelona kept Xavi even after getting kicked out, humiliated in the Champions League group stage. So it has its positive, but sometimes you have to go through the negatives too, as they are giving the opportunities to their younger players. Sometimes the results in some cases might not come, but you cannot be that reactionary. Our fans are not that patient, to be honest. So if we give these Castilla players the opportunities, of course we would love it, but we would have to be ready to get some humiliations, like those kind of stuff. These things happen. This is the growing pain, or whatever it is called. So that's it. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a good day, good night, wherever you are. Even though Real Madrid has lost, it it shouldn't. Hopefully, it doesn't make the day or evening a bad one. Have a good time. See you next time. Hala Madrid.